When you talk to veteran quarterbacks who are performing at a high level in their 30s, they're saying they're able to see it so much quicker because they've seen it before. And so their muscle memory is just like that. And that comes with experience. So I think that even just getting Jalen more experience, he'll naturally get better at the things that he's looking to improve on this offseason.
Welcome to another edition of Kwoz's Big Board. I'm glad that you were able to come back for actual player evaluations. We're going to be starting with the quarterback, Jalen Hurtz, today. But first, you just heard what Howie Roseman said, and now he's starting to say it with his chest. And remember, Howie Roseman was the one who was on the fence about Jalen Hurtz, and it was rumored that Jeffrey Lurie actually liked him and said, we're going to give him every opportunity to become a good quarterback here. Well, he's starting to say it with his chest. And the reason why is because the evaluations are done, and typically you don't use anything past 12 weeks. I use up to 12 weeks for my evaluation. I hope they don't use a lot past that. But it gives you a representative amount of games to make a decision on players, the meat of the year. So let's just look at how Jalen Hurtz did. He finished with an 8-7 record. He had 61% completion rate, 3,100 yards. Not a whole lot for 17 game schedule. Guys were throwing for 5,000 yards, but he's not that type of quarterback. But 3,100 yards, that means he did put the ball in the air some. He finished with 16 touchdowns in the air and 9 interceptions, but you do have to add in that he added another 10 rushing touchdowns and 2 lost fumbles. So I have his numbers at 26 and 11. When I look at it really closely, I know in my head, I remember at least 4 to 5 touchdowns that were dropped, 2 by Rager in one game. So those numbers should be better with a better supporting cast. But he's got to get it up to closer to a 3-1 type deal. He got to be in the 30s if he's going to be 11 terms. Yeah, also finished with 780 rushing yards. And there's 780 rushing yards speaks to his athleticism. But there's parts to athleticism. We'll start with his speed. God, go ahead and play it from his combine. 4.5. You've seen it with your own eyes. Now you know that he's fast. 4.5 is 0.3 of a second faster than what the average is for a quarterback, which is at 4.8. That's your slower guys. But the other end of Jalen Hurts' athleticism that you need to recognize and understand is that he is strong. See? I believe that's a 650-pound squat for a 210-pound man. So, very strong, built very low to the ground. With that speed and that strength, that's what attracted the Philadelphia Eagles to him in the beginning. That usually translates to durability. And as you've seen this year, he only lost 1 game to injury. It was an ankle sprain. We thought it was a typical ankle sprain. Then later on, they let you know that it was a high ankle sprain. And we all know high ankle sprains is usually about 4 weeks. He came back in 2. He took the bye week and missed 1 game. So roughly around 3 weeks. But he muscled back and kept it moving. So as far as durability, I gotta check that box off because his athleticism leads to the durability, and obviously he has that. One little narrative that floats around Jalen Hurtz is that he just doesn't have the arm, and I scoff at that when I hear that because his ball got zip on it, and I'm not sure where the video evidence is that this kid has a noodle arm. Now, it's quite the contrary. Now, look, at the combines, if you're watching the combines, you've seen the quarterbacks throw the ball up against the mat, and then you heard one of the broadcasters say, oh, well, this is new. Well, it's new to the public. They've always tested ball velocity from quarterbacks for over the last 20 years. It's done by this outfit called OurLabs.com, and you can go ahead on there and you can check for yourself. Now, at OurLabs.com, that's their thing. They do it for the NFL and for scouts, and they record and document data on ball velocity. When you looked at it, I seen that Jalen Hurtz threw the ball at 54 miles per hour The fastest ball ever thrown was Josh Allen. So when you hear, he don't got an arm like Josh Allen, nobody has an arm like Josh Allen. He threw the ball 62 miles per hour. The average, dig this, these are your favorite quarterbacks. Justin Herbert threw the ball 55 miles per hour. Lamar Jackson, 49 miles per hour. Patrick Mahomes, 55 miles per hour. Cam Newton, 56 miles per hour. Dak Prescott, 54 miles per hour. Carson Wentz, 57 miles per hour. And the bull that some of y'all still want, Deshaun Watson, threw the ball at 45 miles per hour. He's the noodle arm. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You can check these numbers, and these are official numbers. So what that comes out to is that our quarterback has an average NFL arm. He throws the same as Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. So when you say he don't have the arm, think about what you're saying. The data does not support that. Then when you tell people that, they usually backpedal off, well, I'm not talking about arm strength. I'm talking about arm talent and accuracy. Kai, do me a favor, bring up his accuracy chart. Now, this chart right here is a next-gen chart. You can easily find this one. This is another charting system used by the NFL. And when you look at, I'm not looking at anything behind the line of scrimmage. Let's look above the line of scrimmage. And you see out of those 9 areas that he charts at actually above average in 4 of the 9. In 3 of them, he's a minimum of average. And on the higher end of average. There's 2 areas that he needs to get better at. Yes, throwing that deep left, the ball over 20 yards on that left-hand side, it looks like he struggled mightily. And then you look at the little dump-off passes, he also is below average there. Now, I do want to see no red on this chart coming up. So that has to get better. But if you look over to the between 10 and 20 on the right-hand side, he is at a 131 QB rating. The average is a 78. Ladies and gentlemen, our quarterback does something elite. Then you hear,
well, you need to be able to throw that ball between that 10-20 zone so you can just go down the field, throw for first downs.
He does that very, very well on to the right, but straight across, he's a minimum of average. So he can dart the ball down the field and has, if given the opportunity. And, he protected the ball a lot. So I don't know why they were so fearful of using him that way. They went from overwhelming him with the throwing to, we don't even want you to throw at all. I mean, it's hard to actually evaluate the quarterback with a brand new coaching team. And, so the jury is still out on the coaching, more so, in my opinion, than the actual play on the field. Now, remember, this is evaluation, so there's 2 sides of this. The first thing is kind of like the 2 things I've seen that he needs to work on are kind of like one and the same. Okay, they're one and the same, but they're really 2 different things. Now, we'll go to the Giants game, and he'll play that Giant game for you. Now, right here on this play right here, we all remember this play for him missing Dallas Goedert, who sprung open at the last minute. Okay, now in his eyesight, what he sees is 3 white jerseys right next to Dallas Goedert. Okay, now he knows that route's going there, but he don't know who's tracking there. But his eyes, you only get a split second. I'm freeze framing this and bringing it to your attention. This is less than a half of a second decision he gets to make. But I see 3 white shirts over there, and I got 1 breaking free right here. And you see him, he got him right in his eyesight. Now, what he needs to work on is once he recognizes that route and it's open for half a second in that red zone, you got to pick that ball up and you got to drop it in there real quick. So his mechanics or his throw is too elongated for somebody so short. You got to get that up and like boom. Y'all all seen the harder they fall, right? That was all about speed. That's about speed. Boom, boom. That's how quick it is. And now this is where Aaron Rodgers made a whole career of it. See it, hit it. See, hit it, boom, it's open. And I think he can get stronger with that, with working with his mechanics. Somebody who recognizes that, yo, we gotta speed this throw up. You gotta get faster. So that's one area he needs to work on. The second area is recognition in as far as throwing into windows. We'll go to the playoff game. You see this right here in the playoff. Kwoz comes, here he comes, he's on the deep end. Now, let's pause it there. Right here is where this window should be thrown into, and no one's in the window. He has to be more confident in the play calling and his receivers to throw into that window before that receiver gets into that window. The receiver runs through the window, and that's called an anticipatory throw or anticipated throw. That's where he has to get better at. Okay, so my suggestion for him this offseason is see it, hit it. That's it. See it, hit it. So you work on those two things, getting his throw down quicker and throwing into empty windows. You're going to see a much better quarterback. But there's the draft chimes. So our off-season plan at the quarterback position, for me, is really no priority. If any priority, I would say a personal priority if they want to continue this whole quarterback factory thing, which the last time they took a number 2 quarterback, they brung it back and moved one and got a 1 and a 3. That's what you do at a factory. You produce them and you ship them out. If you're going to do that, I wouldn't recommend doing that before pick number 83 in the 3rd round. And if at 83 in the 3rd round, Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati is still there. I mean, he blew the doors off in the combines with that with his 40 time. I don't think he'll be there beyond the 2nd round. But if he is, if it's going in the 3rd round, you might want to move up if that's your personal priority. But we don't need a quarterback. But we should look at getting rid of Gardner Minshew and bringing in a Tyrod Taylor. That way you can still run the same offense when your quarterback goes down and not disrupt your whole offense. He can do the same stuff Jalen Hurtz will do until he get back. Sort of like how Baltimore did with Lamar Jackson and Huntley. And then after Huntley, they got some boy named Johnson. It's about, if that's my scheme, pick people who fit that scheme. Gardner Minshew don't fit that RPO, RO type offense. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I would do this offseason. Again, thank you for hanging and looking at some of these numbers, and maybe that will help you get over your running back quarterback fatigue, and we can go into the next season really focused on what we're going to do about defense. Peace.